minutes. We backed up the agenda by 10. So we'll start here at 2:20. We'll go for 20 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers. So let's get to it with a case study on the land of Nod. Here are Sam Decker of Bizarre Voice and Michelle Cahanzo of the land of Nod.
Good, thanks, Sam. My name's Sam Decker, CMO of Bizarre Voice, and you know, we had 20 minutes to present, and the speakers were talking about this the other night. It's kind of comical because it's hard to sort of get to know the audience, and so with a story. Hi, Stephen. How you doing? So I wanted to just, you know, as I talked, build rapport. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. And you know, get to know the audience this way rather than a gambit or a story or something like that. So as we talk about it, as we look at what we're going to talk about, I'm going to set the table. Michelle's going to give the actual case study. So. You know, as we talk about conversations with customers, right now you're my customer, right? You're the audience. And when we're talking about getting closer to the customer, the idea that we actually pay attention and humanize that customer and get closer to them and understand their needs and reach out to them and change the way we do things is really what's going to drive word of mouth. And that's what this case study is all about. And this book, this is online for free, was written in 1999. And the whole idea is that markets have always been conversations, right? At the beginning of time, there were person-to-person word of mouth, and now this is it's amplified by digital technology. So we look at now now what brands are doing. They're getting all excited about Facebook and Twitter, and the mistakes I see brands make are two things. One is they try to collect fans, and fans can be the Facebook fans or it could be something else, but the idea that I'm just going to collect advocates, right? And I'm just going to get them excited about the brand and then stop there and they don't do anything else. And then the second problem I see is they get excited about social media and they get excited about community and get excited about all these conversations, but it's not about their product. It's not about some of the obstacles that are getting people to buy their product. So, what we call, in our company is centered around social commerce. And the idea around that is that you can get customers to write about your products. You can get them to communicate around the products. It could be reviews, it could be ask questions and answers, it could be stories. But the point is that they are going to center the conversation around the product. And when you do that, then it can be used inside the organization. It can be used to connect the entire organization. That's what we're talking about here. Me connecting out with the audience and shaking people's hands and meeting you. The virtual version of that is for you to actually hear from customers and reach back out to them and do something about it. You know, so how close can you get to customers? Well, you as a social media manager can get very close to customers. The question is, Jack, good to meet you. Here, stand up for me. You know, you can get very close to customers. How you doing, buddy? I'm doing great. Brother from another mother. How you doing? Awesome. You know, how close can you actually get to one of your customers? Well, when they're talking about the product and service, it's not just you in social media, it's actually the people that are building your products, the customer service people, the entire organization. All of them can get closer. And we use in the company the idea of customer oxygen. If you're trying to create change inside the organization that's actually going to affect word of mouth, if you want to change the product, if you want to change the service, it's not the advertising team that's going to do that. It's the product development team or the customer service team. And you need to sort of filter in what customers are saying every day to them to make micro decisions to change the way they're doing their work. So I want to give you a few examples and then go deep dive into the Land of Nod case study. So this was a quote. We had the CEO and executive team of Urban Outfitters come on site. And they have reviews on their site. And this was a quote from him. He said, you know, the 5-star reviews are great, but the real business for us is in the 1-star reviews. So he identifies with customers that have problems and want to change their product and want to reach out to them and make changes. And he knows that that's what's going to drive word of mouth for his company. This was an actual slide that we jointly presented to the CMO of Dell, and they allowed me to share this. They look at their reviews on their products and look at all parts of their organization and how it can affect customer service, sales, customer care, the brand team, product development. How are we getting this out in front of every part of the company? So it's actually changing the way the company does business, and they're embracing their customers and what they're saying all the way back throughout their entire organization. Quick case study of Oriental Trading. They sell inexpensive party goods. This was an inflatable solar system. And the complaint was that it would deflate. As soon as they get it, and after a day, it would start to deflate. And so someone would write in, we're so excited. It started to deflate. We patched most of the holes, and people were not recommending this product. So they responded to the review. What they did is they went back to the supplier. They changed the product, fixed the material that caused it to deflate, and said, thank you for providing the valuable feedback based on customer reviews. We changed the product, and now you can buy it. And so right after that, from then on, the reviews were positive and people were recommending the product. And what they actually did is they did something like this with 700 of their products. So it actually changed a big portion of their product set. You look at J.C. Whitney, they're actually just down the street here in Chicago. They have a Q&A ability on their site, so customers can ask questions and other customers can answer them, but also suppliers can start answering questions. So what they did, they had, this story is, they had 2 leading manufacturers within trailer hitches, the number 1, number 2, big delta. The number 2 started answering customers' questions and involved in the conversation on their site, and they surpassed, within less than a year, surpassed the leader on their site in sales, just by engaging with the customer, answering their questions, having more content on their site. So those are just 2 case studies. We want to set the table with some examples and really go deep dive into an exciting case study with Michelle at Land of Nod.